It makes me feel good every Saturday when I sit here in my studio here on Flash Show to talk about different aspects of life. So for those who are joining us for the first time, this is a platform that I created to talk about different aspects of life. We talk about social life, economic life. We talk about day-to-day stuff. And we are based here in the US in Massachusetts. And we are glad to have you. If you have not had the time to like the page, please go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Flasho, and Facebook. You can as well find me on different social media handles. So please, please, please don't miss out on these great topics that we share every Saturday. Don't go away. I hope everybody is doing great. Uh, This is the day that the Lord has made for us to be glad and rejoice in it. Today, I rarely host the category of the host that of the guest that I have. I'm so privileged to be having a mighty man of God, a young man. I wouldn't want to let the beans out of the bag. I would give him an opportunity to introduce himself.
Goodness me, I am delighted to be here. It's a blazing flash show. Is one of the best shows that we have around. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and do it. My name is Maxwell Mukisa. I happen to be a resident pastor, Highest Praise International Church. I do business and I do corporate work as well. Yeah, just glad to be here.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for accepting our invite here on Flasher. It's a small place, but you are a pastor. They say never undermine humble beginnings,
That's
right?
right.
But
That's
what
right.
is important to me is we are impacting lives. So we
Yes,
are being watched all over the world,
that's
all over
wonderful.
the world, and we get great feedback.
That's awesome.
So yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, let's dive right there into our topic today. Today, I want us to explore life in the diaspora.
Yeah.
How I understand you were not born here, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but before we go any further, I would like people who are watching us, maybe they may be wanting to know more about you. Are you married? How long have you been here? Are you dating? Oh, it's complicated. There's
Yeah.
that too. I've had so which one
But
is
you know
which?
these days you can be in a relationship and it's still complicated. You can be married and it's complicated.
Right.
But I am married. I am married to a woman,
Right. Yeah.
and
It's important.
we have kids, and we are just so grateful to God.
Mm.
It's been wonderful. Been married 5 years now,
Oh,
and yeah, it's been great. You know, having somebody that you can just relate with, talk to, and build a life together. It's been great.
great.
Yeah,
So, how long have you been in the US?
I've been in the U.S. Coming to 13 years now.
13 years.
Yeah, I remember
Wow.
coming here as a young boy, and
Mm.
now I'm I'm a grown up man.
Mm.
It's just amazing, you
Did you meet
know.
your partner here?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we met at school,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Oh, okay. How was
yes.
your transition from Uganda to the US?
Um, challenging, tough, if I might say, because when I came to the US, I didn't know anybody here. So I literally just came and started just building life and working on myself, trying to make things work. And it was tough. It was tough. The transition is always tough. And I think most people agree with this. It's always tough, you know, trying to transition and make life work here. Unless you have like your mother or your
Right.
father, you know,
Right.
somebody that you know. But it's always tough
Right.
for people that are just coming here to make ends meet. And so I fall into that box as well.
How does the journey look like? Did you come as a student? Did you come as were you moving to the land where the pasture is greener? Or, I mean, like, if you're comfortable talking about
Yeah,
it.
yeah, no, I can talk about
Excuse me.
it. So coming here, I was still a teenager, late teenager.
Right.
But I came to meet up with a friend of mine who was white and was a pastor, and they just loved me, wanted to see me and hear part of my testimony, right? Like how I was born in a Muslim family and transitioned to being a Christian. They wanted to hear more of that. So they invited me to come. And when I arrived here, of course, we did the meeting. Everything was great. They loved the testimony. And I remember talking to couple friends, people that I knew, and I told them I'm in America, and they were very excited for me. And so questions started coming through. Are
Right.
you coming back?
Right.
So it was then that I thought about it. I'm like, okay, am I really like going back to Uganda?
Mm-hmm.
And consulting with a couple friends, friends in the UK. I just determined that God wanted me to be here, and being here was the best thing for me. And so I started working on, okay, if this is the best thing for me, how do I make it turn out the best thing for me, right? And so start looking into ways that I could stay here and
Mm-hmm.
be productive.
Mm.
And like I said, as a young man trying to make that happen, it was really challenging. But knowing that I had people back home,
Right.
some people in the UK who would always support me and fill me in on how life feels like in the diaspora.
Right.
I think that made it easier.
Right.
But yeah, I came just to visit, just like many of you,
Right.
and decided that I was going to stay and make it
Right.
work.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. You mentioned something. I've always wanted to host somebody here who has transitioned from a Muslim to Christianity. That's not the topic today.
Yeah.
I hopefully I will invite you
I was gonna
again
ask
here.
if you have 2 days or 3 days because it's a long story.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's so interesting. You came when you are a teenager, so young.
Yeah, I think I was 19 at the
Wow.
time. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
And was it exciting for you to be here? Because as a teenager, I wouldn't want to go through the experience that I went through, yet I was an adult,
yeah.
well grown. I wouldn't want a teenager, or I wouldn't expect a teenager to come and go through all that
Right.
kind of
Yeah, no,
yeah.
it was definitely tough, right? But again, for me, because of the things that I had gone through,
Back home?
yeah, again, just
Okay.
because my dad was like, one of the wealthy Muslim guys in Uganda, and when I got saved, he didn't take it cool, right? It was really tough, and he decided that he was gonna disown me. He doesn't want anything to do with me. And at the time, I was only 13 years old. So my life took a turn there for the worst. And I don't regret it because I made the best decision ever to receive Jesus as my Lord and Savior. And so the things that I went through prepared me for the future that I never anticipated, right? Including just deciding to move to America and the
Right.
things that I had to go through to try and settle in America as a teenager. And there's like a lot of things here for teenagers. Like there's clubs, drugs,
Right.
like there's a
Free.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the left is there, right? It's there. The center is there. Before you find anything and free, accessible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But then because of the things that I went through, those things prepared me for the life here. Because I always told myself I can't screw this up. I just can't.
Right,
I
right.
have to make it work. Whatever that feels like, whatever it comes off as, I have to make it work.
Okay, let us first hold it there.
Yeah.
Those who are watching us here on Flash Show, we are talking about life in the diaspora. I'm glad that I have a guest who came here when he was a teenager. So I just want us to touch exactly that you've mentioned. So
Yeah.
having gone through hard times back home in Uganda,
Yeah.
and you're coming here in the US
Mhm.
as a teenager, I feel like you would be so excited, like because I've seen it, like people,
Yeah.
young people who at that age come here and so they get so excited, get into drugs, and now this is it.
Yeah.
What helped what helped you to stay like grounded, to get that excited, and then get married,
Yeah.
begin a family, then be a resident pastor. If you
Yes.
can look into the camera, because I know there are young people
Yeah.
out there who are watching us and would like to know more about that.
Yeah. You know, I will not sit here and tell you it was all about how good I was and how smart I am. I will say God helped me.
Mm,
Okay,
mm.
he sure did, and I believe this is how he did it. By letting me go through the things that I went through, not knowing that he was preparing me for what was to come, and I was the only one. Like it was about me. Me, and myself, right? Most people that come to America, especially young people that end up going into drugs and stuff like that, it's because they have people.
Family, yeah,
I have my
great.
mom, I have
Yes,
my dad, I have my
exactly.
sister. I'll
Mm,
call them.
mm,
They'll come to my rescue. But I
mm.
didn't have nobody. You can't screw this up because there's
Right,
nobody for you to call. And
great.
so young people have people that they can call. Like I know a lot of young people that I interact with on a daily basis. You know, they've done a lot of things, and I try to talk to them about, hey, you can come out of it. You can make ends meet.
Mm,
But they're hesitant because there is a support system,
mm, mm.
what I like to call enablers, right? You have your mother who you can call anytime and she will come to your rescue. She's not really rescuing you, she's enabling you.
Right.
So it shouldn't end up just going into drugs, going into, alcohol and stuff like that, because again, they have a support system. But what I truly believe helped me to stay grounded even here in America was God, my fear for God, my
Mm,
reverence for God,
mm,
right? Having accepted the Lord at the age of 13, I always wanted to know more about God. I always prayed. I always trusted God will surely see me
mm, mm.
through. And so, me just being grounded and knowing that God is all that I have and working on my relationship with God, that guided me that even when I came here, I mean, like even going through college, like I took myself through college. I was working, paying my own tuition. I, so again, it takes some kind of discipline,
Mm,
but you have to know that you are by yourself. No one is going to stand with you. That's number one.
mm,
And I think parents need to at some point just fold your hands and look at your child and let them be. Don't interfere.
mm, mm,
If they have to go hit their head somewhere,
mm.
let them go hit their head.
Right.
They will not to hit their head again.
Right.
But
Yeah.
when you, don't go there, don't do that,
Mm,
they never learn.
right.
So I think for the most part, we parents have enabled
Mm,
our kids to go on and do whatever they think is right.
mm.
But for me, I attribute anything that I am and even ever hope to be to God. Because,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, like I said, now I have a lot of people, a lot of family members, in America. But when I came, I didn't have
Nobody.
anybody,
Yeah. Yeah.
So that I think helped me just stay
Yeah.
grounded.
And actually, what you're saying is very true. Most of the young people here that have gotten into issues of race driving,
Mhm.
into issues of drugs, mental health issues, or some are in jail. I know a Ugandan kid who was in jail some time back because of joining a gang and driving or stuff like that. And most of them have their parents here.
Mhm.
So I mean, so for you, it was at a point of now I am by myself.
That's
I've,
right.
I've, I've got to go.
Yeah.
Nobody's holding my hand. I've got to go.
Yeah, I've got to make it work.
Right.
Yeah, can't screw it up.
Right.
The Baganda have a saying.
Mm.
How you say this in English now? Akajobu na kukemanya. Okay, however you want to interpret that.
Right.
But what that means is, if you know you don't have any help,
Mm,
like there
mm,
is
mm,
nobody to help you, you know you have nobody to help you, so you
mm,
can't screw that up.
mm,
Like you have to stay straight because
mm,
nobody's going to help you.
mm.
But most of these kids, they know my father is gonna come
Right.
get me out of jail. Oh, my mother is gonna send me money, or somebody is gonna come stand surety for me.
Mm.
So they know they have support.
Yeah.
And I think that right there is the problem that we continue to have. I have not seen somebody that came here knowing that they by themselves and screwed that up. I've
That's
not
true.
seen one.
Right.
The kids that come here and get into drugs, get into gangs, get into so many different things are kids that are being enabled by their own
Right.
parents.
Yeah.
You see, so again, it's that confidence that my mom loves me.
Right.
My mom will do it for me.
Exactly.
Like recently, there's a kid, and I don't know how comfortable I can talk about this, but he drank himself to death. But again, when you look at his life, I mean, this is somebody that has everything that you would need. Okay, like everything. Let me tell you something. So when I just came here, right, one of the things that I really admired was the kids that had their parents here.
Yeah.
Right? Like one of the kids in college will tell you, well, my mom just bought me a car. And you're thinking like, wow, I take Uber, I take the bus
Right.
to go to school. This kid, their mother bought them a car,
Yeah.
or their mother bought them something that they really needed. And some of them told me, I don't work, I only go to school. This is all I do. I go to school and I go back home.
And you look at
everything and still go to school. Again, it takes some kind of discipline. But I tell parents, I know it's tough to watch your own child go through stuff like that, but sometimes it's good to let them go through it only because it is important for them to learn.
Right.
You will not learn unless you go through it. Some people learn by going through it. Some people are not too smart to learn by others going through it, that they need to go through it for them to learn. So I think we parents need to let our children go through it.
Right.
It's like, I got my own kids, and when I tell you don't touch that, okay, and you watch me look away for you to touch it, okay, go ahead and touch it. Now you're gonna scream, yes, I will, but you know not to touch it next time.
Right.
So I think we need to do that more as parents to save our families and our children.
It sounds to me like you have good experience with coming here when you are still young. So as a resident pastor, do you have kids in that kind of category or age group that you have tried to mentor? Because speaking from experience is different from a person who has not been there, right? Because now you've been there, you've gone to school, you've paid your tuition, you've come here when you didn't know nobody, and some of the kids you have worked with, maybe you have seen. So do you have kids that you've really, it could be one, it could be two, or it could be a group, are there kids that you've mentored?
Yeah, so engaged with a lot of families, okay, and not just kids, but families. Remember, family friends of ours, they live in Florida. They had two kids who were like, they were giving them a hard time. These kids didn't know anything about life. So one of the things that I really advised the parents to do was, I think these kids are just too used to a good life. Let's get them to Africa, okay? Give them about a month in Africa. And now these are white kids. And I said, let's just send them to Africa, okay? Give them a month there. I know it's going to be, you're going to worry about it, but I know people that can take care of them. So those parents, what they did was they sent their two kids to Africa.
And these were kids that were born here in America?
They were born here, yeah. One was 13 and the other was 9. Wow. Yes, so they go to Africa and they watch how the children in Africa behave. They look at the style of life, the quality of life, and the challenges there. And the kids could not believe that there is people actually living in that kind of situation. When they came back, okay, they started appreciating their parents for the running water in their house.
Yes.
They started appreciating their parents for the food on the table.
Right.
They started appreciating their parents for not hitting them. I mean, there was a lot of things to be grateful for, but that's because these kids went and saw something. So that's part of what I do to help them. But there's kids that I met, on a personal level, and just talk to them about life. Because some kids, it's just like they've never seen anything about life, right? They make crazy decisions, and so I talk to them and help them, make better decisions. Like, how are you born in America with your mother and father, and you don't want to go to school?
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. You have you were brought here by your parents, and you were 9, you were whatever, and you don't want to go to school? Like, really? So you think this is life? So there is more to life. And I think we learn that by the things that we go through.
Right.
Every level that God brings you to, you get to understand that there is actually more
Wow.
to life.
Exactly. There was a couple that I know, they had a teenager girl who was
Yeah.
also being like too much,
Mhm.
over it too much. Like
Yeah,
if I take a
teenagers.
yeah,
Oof.
teenager, like it was completely off. So what they did, so this kid had even called police on the parents, had called social workers. So the system was already engaged.
Yeah.
So what they did, they took this kid back home in Uganda. The kid came back when she was completely changed. And meanwhile, the
Yeah.
school, the teachers, the counselors were all involved. And now they are asking. So when the kid came back, the kid was completely changed. And they're asking, what did you do? Oh, and they had even stopped the parents from taking the kid back home. You cannot take this kid back home.
Yeah.
What are they gonna eat? They are used to this kind of life. You cannot. But I mean, being African parents, we know what to do better, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
when this kid came back, he was completely changed. And now the parents,
Yeah.
some of them were teachers, are coming to this to the dad
Yeah.
and the parents, and they're asking, what did you do to this kid?
Yeah.
Please tell us so that we can do. Can we also send our children to Africa?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? It is so interesting.
Yeah,
So
it
that
is.
being said, uh, I want myself. Okay,
But
yeah,
even with that, right? And I always tell parents, you really want to be careful with that too,
yeah.
because I've seen kids that will call the American embassy like when they get to their countries. Yeah, like one kid from Ghana, she called the American embassy and said, my parents threw me here. I don't even know where I am. I need help. And they were in big trouble. This was like 2 years ago. So you want to be careful with that because some kids are so into it that it's really difficult to save them.
Yeah, yeah.
They've been,
Should I
just
call it like they want to advocate for themselves? Like maybe they want to speak
like
out
they
for
will put
themselves.
up a fight.
Yeah.
They will put up a fight for themselves. They will call whoever can help. And so when you do it, you want to make sure the kid understands that you're doing it in their best interest, right?
Right.
You're helping them by doing that. But yeah, some kids they can call the police on you, they can call the embassy on you, and you'll be in
That
trouble.
is one thing that I want to do with my son, but he's the only kid, so I don't want to take him to leave him to Africa. I
Yeah,
just want to go with him, enroll him in school,
yeah,
and he sees what is going on in schools. Because
yeah,
right here, they
yeah,
give him work and says, no, I don't want to do that work because I know it.
yeah,
It's true he's smart, but he
yeah.
will say, I don't want to do it. How do you tell a teacher in Africa that you don't want to do that work? I feel
Yeah.
like it's very disrespectful, and you cannot do that. Thank you so
Is
much
that
for
is that
sharing.
is that the boy that I saw
Oh,
here?
yes,
That's your
yeah.
little boy?
Yes.
That's who you want to take to Africa? I
Yes.
don't think so.
And
You're too close to to be taken apart.
yeah, I will not leave. I will enroll him there maybe for 2 weeks, and then we head back
Yeah.
to America. So thank you so much. Those who are watching us, we are talking about life
Yeah.
in the US, how we're transitioning into the US, and I'm so glad like I have a right person, a guest who is sharing from experience and having come to the US when he was still young. So let us talk about the culture shock.
Yeah.
How was it for you? Like the culture, what shocked you most, or how was the transition?
Yeah. I mean, the culture shock definitely, I mean, it's different. Now the good news for me is coming to America wasn't my first flight.
Okay.
I had been to a couple other countries as well. So I knew I had a test of the first world countries. So when I came to America, of course, deciding to stay here, there was a little bit of shock, right? When you look at, how people live their life, how nobody has to struggle for anything, how when you have a car in Africa, that's a testimony.
Yeah.
You go in front of the church and say, "Praise the Lord, everybody! I just bought a new car," and then everybody in America has a car. Okay, I mean, like very good cars, and
Right.
that's not a testimony, right?
Right.
It's a necessity. You need it.
You need it.
You know, you gotta have it. And then looking at how just good life is here, right? I mean, you have everything you need. You don't have to pray to God to give you food. You know, you don't have to pray to God to have clothes to wear. You can just go somewhere and tell him, "Hey, I don't have any clothes to wear," and they'll
Exactly.
give
Yes.
them to you.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just it's shocking when you look at how beautiful and how good life is here. Um, but then when you also look at okay, people that like they were born here, but they're begging on the streets. So you go, oh, wait, okay, so there's beggars here too.
Right.
So there's just a
Yeah.
lot of things. The accent is different. And that's something that I struggled with, and I continue to struggle with, you know, because like you know at my you know where I work, and you know they like to hear like a different accent, but they
Right.
will recognize right away that you're not from
One of them,
America.
yes.
And so you know it's of course it's I would say it's a confluence of a lot of shocks, right? That
Right.
you get. It's not just one. It's like, you know, every area there is a shock, right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, I didn't know about this. But what I would really say is to knowing what you want, right? That's very important. When you know what you want, but also understanding where you come from, okay?
Yeah.
When you know what you want and retain understanding of where you come from,
Yeah.
that empowers you
Right.
to overcome any shock, any challenge that you might face.
Right.
It doesn't matter what it is. You will be able to withstand it. You will overcome it because you know what you want and you remember where you come from.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So living a life of struggle as a young man,
Yeah.
what are those particular things, the specifics
Yeah.
that the young adults should try to avoid in order to get into trouble or as they try to plan for their future?
Yeah.
What are those things that you see, like the mistakes the young adults are doing that are getting them into trouble?
Yeah. Negative influence. Negative influence. It's one of those things that I like soccer. I play soccer. Well, I'm not a good soccer player because I'll be playing in the Premier League, but I love soccer. You know, I enjoy playing soccer. Um, but in soccer there's a lot of guys, right? You know, there's like different groups, and I remember years ago, you know, I was a part of like a lot of groups because we'll go play soccer, but then in those groups there were drunkards, right? Like guys that would just drunk themselves to sleep, right? There were guys that used drugs, like, you know, cocaine, like weed and stuff like that. Now when you let that influence you, that's a negative influence, right? So some guys are not, they don't know where they come from, they don't know what they want, because it is those two things that will help you mitigate or even prevent a negative influence. But I will tell you this, for anybody listening to me today, young man, you're trying to make ends meet, you're trying to be better yourself, better your life, at all costs avoid negative influences. It might come off as good, you know, I love them because, you know, they give me company, we do this together, we do that together, but let me tell you, it will impact your future. It's one of those things that I really committed to doing. If I became a part of any group and I noticed something that I didn't really like, I just
You
gave up
break
on that
away.
group.
Yeah.
And it's painful as a young man because you want to belong to some kind of
Right.
group.
Right.
But I decided that I wasn't going to be a part of it. That's why, like, I never went into alcohol, because once I joined the group and I know, you know, they drink a lot of alcohol. Now I have them, a lot of them, good friends. But again, when you avoid to be negatively influenced by those people, that will help you a lot, because almost everybody that ends up in those kind of things like drinking and drugs and stuff like that, women,
Yeah.
or men, um, they are always
Influenced.
influenced by somebody.
That's right. Yeah.
Somebody was in there, you became friends, and now you're doing it too. Avoid those groups, those individuals. Be friendly. but avoid being influenced with whatever they have going on. Yes.
And yeah, and even knowing what you want
Yeah.
would kind of help you stay away from like bad influence.
Yes.
Yeah. So you know, I work. You may not know. I'm in law enforcement. I work in jail, and
Oh.
yeah, and it's so.
Do I need to call security?
We are safe anyway. So
Okay.
we are safe here. So there was a unit where there are young people, the young adults,
Yeah.
18, 19, 20, 21,
Mhm.
22. When I look at them, and it's exactly like that you have mentioned when they give you their story. It's like, I was in a gang. Gang. I was peer pressure. Oh, I did this mistake, but I belonged to a certain group.
Yeah.
Or I murder.
Yeah.
They do that.
Yeah.
But robbery, like that's it. And when you look at them, you see that yes, much as they grow up from dysfunctional homes,
Yeah.
they don't know what they want in life. So what do you have to say about that?
Yeah. I think that's very important, and it's the foundation
Right.
for anybody and for anything that we would want to achieve in life. You must, as an individual, okay, you must know what you want.
Right.
If you're going to become anything, you must know
At what
what
age?
you want.
At what age should we start like identifying, finding ourselves as young people?
Well, some people don't even find out what they really want to be and what they really want in life until they're in their 40s, especially men.
Yeah, that's true.
But I would say, because there's a scripture in the Bible, since you're a Christian, we can talk about it. That without vision, people perish.
Yes.
Now, when you look up the original interpretation of the word vision, he's actually talking about personal discipline. So when there is no discipline in your life, you will perish, right? That's what they call vision. So when there is no discipline in somebody's life, they lose sight of what they want, because it is the discovery of what you want to be that enforces and reinforces discipline in your life.
Right.
And so at any age, I would say somebody needs to discover who they really are. I mean, look at Jesus. I mean, he was still a little boy and he knew exactly who he was, right? And what he was set to become. But again, as you as a person, take time and talk to yourself, right? Look yourself in the mirror, and that man or that woman that you're looking at, talk to them. Ask them, who are you? What are you meant to be? What are you set to become? And when you can answer those questions after asking those yourself, then you can go ahead and ask even tougher questions. Okay, with everything going on in my life today, can I be that person that I really believe I am?
Yeah.
And if you can answer those questions to yourself, I think that sets you up to achieving what you really want to achieve in life.
Right.
But it comes down to discovering who you really are. What is it that you want to become? It is what helps us. I mean, like I was ordained a pastor at the age of 15.
Wow.
Because I got saved at 10. And I started preaching on the streets, and and then I started like preaching in the youth and telling the youth how good Jesus is and stuff like that. And I didn't know, like I really had to be a pastor. I didn't know that, right? But the more I did it, right, and now I'm ordained pastor, and now I'm doing it more and more and more, I get to discover that, oh wait, maybe this is something that God wants me to do.
Right.
So I'm going to do it. Now I don't do it for a living, but but I do it, right? Like, I pastor, I get work done. But again, it's some of the things that we are supposed to be are things that have identified us, because sometimes purpose identifies you, right? And so you grow into it even before you discover it, right? That's why, like, so like my daughter, she likes to like treat us at home, right? Like she will take her mother's equipment, and she'll put on your ears, and she'll put on your chest and listen for your heart. And so you ask her, who do you really want to be? She said, I want to be a doctor.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, she knows what she wants to be. Now as we grow up, sometimes we lose sight of that, right? But it's something that identified you even before you did.
Right.
And so sometimes we need to pay attention to those things that identified us before we did.
Right.
Just like pastoring and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Interesting.
it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, people who are watching us and those who will be watching us later. Before we end, we are winding up. We are getting to the end. This is interesting. I think it is so interesting. It is good to the ears. I still want to listen to that. But I just don't want to leave the show, end this show, before we talk about boundaries. I love boundaries.
Yeah.
And because of setting boundaries, it has made me who I am. It has protected me. Yeah. What are those boundaries that you have set, you as a person? Or what, and again, at the same time, what are those particular specific boundaries? Because they are boundaries that are universal.
Yeah.
Right? You don't get into my space.
Yeah.
Don't be disrespectful of me. So what are those boundaries that you have set, you as a person? Yeah. And what you would advise the young people out there to say?
Yeah, well, if you touch my family, I'm gonna kill you. Yeah, right. So that's number one, right? My family, right? That's a boundary there. But on a personal level, I mean, personally, when it comes to God, right? I don't compromise when it comes to God. Somebody died for my salvation, and I'm not about to screw that up. Somebody gave up their life to save me, and that's important. It doesn't matter what I'm going through. I can be beat up, I can be weak, I can be sinful, I can be everything, mention it, and I'll still go to church. Because going to church for me is more than just showing up at church, but showing up for my Savior, right? So that's for me, that's about, like, there's nothing, absolutely nothing that can impede me, obstruct me, or whatever from going to church. Right. I will still go to church. But talking about discipline, that's another boundary, right? Like, you as a person must come up with a list of things that you can't do or can't go places, right? Can't do tasks. Like, okay, I cannot drink. I cannot go to clubs. I cannot, go out with, like, I cannot do something sinful against my God, right? Like Joseph, remember the story of Joseph, right? He was like, it doesn't matter what it is. You can be cute, you can be whatever, but keep my shut. I'm going to take off, right? Because that is me sinning against my God. Right. So again, it just comes down to once you know what you want, that instills discipline in your life. And what discipline does is it creates boundary. Right. There'll be things that no longer take your time because of your vision, because of your like you know what you want, right? So yeah, no, it's so great. I'm here today because this is good, right?
Exactly.
So I will not be at some kind of drinking party right now. I will not show up there, but I showed up here. Why? Because you said you want us to have a conversation,
right?
So again, when you know who you are, knowing who you are, that understanding of who you are it reinforces and enforces discipline in your life, that there will be things that you cannot do, right? Because you know who you are.
Our time is well spent. Thank you so much once again. Where do you see or what's the difference between kids grown in Africa and the kids that have grown here, especially now, like the young adults? What do you see most, the difference or the commonalities?
There is a difference, the children born here and the children that were born in Africa. There is an inherent proclivity to a tough life for children born in Africa. But then, there is an inherent proclivity to a good life to children born here. But when you look at the end results of the two children, right, you realize that the one that was actually born in Africa, because they have an understanding of what toughness looks like, right? What challenges look like.
What true life is. Reality.
Yeah. They tend to, I don't want to say succeed more, but they tend to be they approach life from a positive perspective when they get here,
Right.
other than the kids that were born here. The child that was born here, you will do everything for them. I would say my dad didn't do nothing for me.
Right.
Like
Right.
really, my mom didn't do nothing.
Mm.
All she did was go to church, and that's kids born here, right?
Mm.
But kids born in Africa, I think they tend to approach life from a positive
Mm.
standpoint.
Where do you
Yeah.
see yourself in the next 5 years?
Oh my goodness, that's a very good question. Now, where I see myself in the next 5 years, I can share part of it. I cannot share the fullness of where I see myself, but I will continue to pastor. I'll continue to work for God. That's definite. Um, I will continue to study, so I'll be more educated than I am today. And my family will be, of course, great and thriving. And my businesses will expand, they'll be great.
Right.
I think there will be increase in every area
How
in
many
five
kids do you
years.
have?
Oh my goodness. Now, I belong to the Baganda, right?
Right.
Yeah, no, I
Okay.
think we will, yeah. Yeah.
Right. All right. Those who are watching us, thank you so much for tuning in. We bless the Lord for you. It's been a privilege to having Pastor Mukisa here. What are your last remarks as we conclude the show?
Yes. My last remarks, what I will tell you is this: love God and love Him wholeheartedly. Nobody is going to love you like God does love you. You
Yeah.
see, the things that you're going through today might be tough. Some of you find yourself in addiction, some kind of trouble. But I'll tell you that even when everybody gives up on you, God still loves you.
Right.
Don't you ever look at yourself and think nobody loves me, God doesn't love me, because when everyone else gives up on you, God still loves you. So love Him, and if you can, show up to church on Sunday, and God will bless you.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Today we explored life in the diaspora and him having to come here as a young adult. Really, he spoke a lot. I came here when I was an adult, but life in diaspora is not easy to maneuver regardless whether you're adult or you're still young. So please, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Flash Show, and find me, or you can locate me on different